following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research. Call
now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Happy Friday and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, exploring a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world where we have more personal choices, personal health, and our personal freedoms. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nico Haan.
And I'm Paige Clarke.
Hey, it's a beautiful day here in downtown Clearwater, 73 degrees, the sun is shining, but then about 6 o'clock they say the rain clouds are coming in.
It's a bad hair day. It's kind of blistery and
I never think of that.
Well, that's right. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, we don't care. But, please subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter, and please pick up some Primal Edge to get an edge on life. And also, you can get all of this stuff on the TFNN website.
Yeah, guys, and those of you that are, tiger and tigresses, from what I understand, Tom, our lovely leader here, has actually made it extremely attractive for you to start taking care of your health so you can be more of everything that you need, be more focused, have greater energy. So take a look at those Tiger Dollars, try the Primal Edge, and let's support the show.
That's for sure. Number here is 877-927-6648. I wanted to go to letters first. I keep getting different letters from people, and I sometimes I don't mention too much of it. One of our listeners, Ethan, had asked me way before a question about tea or any product, which is less fat, healthy, and healthier, honey or coconut sugar. Mm-hmm. Any sugar is kind of a real processed food, where honey is processed by the bees, so it's a much more natural product, less likely to spike any insulin. So therefore, I would always go with honey rather than any of these nectars and any of the even substitute sugar, except maybe for a great formulation of stevia.
That's a great point, Nico. What we want to look at is whether it's honey. Now, and as I always teach my people, is it honey that you bought at Publix?
Right.
And no offense on Publix, but just using as our example.
Any supermarket.
That's mass-produced, heated, not raw, harvested from, bees that are eating on genetically modified foods. I mean, so, we can really get particular as we refine our foods. But this is what's going to change our health and going to change the world. My favorite choices of honey are not just raw honey, because just because it says it's raw doesn't mean it's not heated. Many people heat it. That's the question you ask. Did you heat your honey?
Right. And
then I ask somebody, they go, well, we have to heat it to get it into the jars. Well, how high did you heat it?
Yeah.
Were the enzymes killed?
Right.
As an example, the Premier honey that I get, it's not heated, it's not raw, and it's grown in countries where there's no GMOs.
Yeah.
How nice is that?
It is raw, you mean?
It is raw.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. It is raw.
Yeah,
it is not
I agree
heated.
fully. And, getting to a natural product just makes more sense. I heard some guy on TV this morning, the financial news, the guy that was ahead of the Alibaba. And he's talking about, we've got 2 billion customers out there through the internet, and we can reach all of them. And he gave one example, which I thought was really a bad example. He says, cherries. He says, we don't get cherries here in China, so we've been importing thousands of cherries from America. And to me, that just doesn't make sense. How much does it cost to, first of all, ship food halfway across the world? Doesn't make sense to me. And then you've got to come up with a way to keep them from ripening, perhaps, because it's too long. Maybe they ship them by air. I don't know, but it seems like a big waste. Why not, people in your own area eat your own food? It just makes more sense. And then when we go to these areas to visit, then we got little surprises.
Yeah, you know what? Know your farmer. Know the person you're getting your food from. I have a client, a friend, a colleague. His name is Frank. And he actually supports and provides a great water. Some of you may use it maybe in your stores, called Hydrate. to Nature's Food Patch.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so it's a great, some of the reasons I like it is it comes from a really clean spring that we actually know the owners. It's structured and it's ionized, so it has a charge.
Yeah, and structured water, that's a very interesting subject in itself. And
Well, you
sometime
know,
we'll
that's
get
what I
into
use with my
Yes,
sound therapy.
I know you do.
I use the structured water as a vehicle for information. But the point I wanted to make is the other day I was with him and he said, you know, this water was in the ground 3 days ago.
Wow.
And I thought because I know the farmer. And
Yeah,
in
that's
fact, he's a
pretty cool.
farmer. So that's why you go to the Saturday morning market here, you go to the Dunedin downtown market, you go to the markets in your town, chances are that produce was in the ground a couple days ago.
Yeah,
So,
that's really neat. And visiting a market is just always exhilarating because there's a lot of fresh fruit around. You can smell it. Everything's good in the air. A lot of good vibes.
hey, I know we got lots of stuff, but you
Well,
know, let me just say one thing
Okay,
because
sure,
you
of course.
said the word cherries.
Yeah.
And it just, it sent a whole thing through me because I was in the grocery store the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with my dad because he had to do some shopping. And right now he's, you know, his legs, he's had the trouble with his legs.
Right.
So we're in the grocery store. And many of you may or may not be aware that the cherry growers and the walnut growers in our country have been pursued by the FDA and so forth for making health claims on that walnuts and cherries can
Right.
do things. And I mean, literally, we're talking, folks, I mean, the truth is stranger than fiction. I mean, this is really crazy. Tons and hundreds of thousands of dollars of legal fees.
Well, you can't make any claims legally about what food is going to do for you. And as far as a health thing is concerned, it's not allowed by the FDA.
However, you walk down a grocery store cereal aisle, the death
and
aisle.
it's on the boxes, yeah.
And
exactly.
on the box, you know what? I didn't
The
bring
worst
my.
food in the
I didn't.
world,
I'm
too.
going to go there this weekend. On the cereal boxes, it said 9 out of 10 cardiologists recommend Wheaties for their clients or something. Now,
Yeah.
I might have got the brand
But you
wrong.
can't say anything good about a cherry.
Exactly. There's something wrong, folks. This just ain't right, like Joel
That's a great
Salatin
point.
says, you know.
Okay, so Ethan wrote me another letter just recently, and he said, I heard about Yamuna body rolling last month. Thought to ask you
I met
if
her.
you knew anything about. Did you really?
Yeah, my sister used to be one of the head honchos at Canyon Ranch Spa.
Ah,
And the nice thing about them was when friends and family or family members got to get the same thing. So I loved going to Tucson, Arizona. And the woman that developed that, yeah, she's got a great program going on. It's fabulous.
so he thought he'd ask me about it, and it might be better for persons
It's called
with,
Yamuna.
yeah,
Yamuna body rolling. And I'll tell you something, those of you, the neat thing about the Yamuna, go to the website, folks. Maybe we should try and see if we can't get an affiliate for her because I'm telling you, it would be great. You can do the Yamuna body rolling for the feet while you're sitting at your desk.
That sounds pretty
It's
cool.
really acupressure.
Yeah, he wanted to know if it was good for people with tight hamstrings and back injuries. Is better than yoga, and I said, well, it's great. I've used like lacrosse balls and golf balls, medicine balls, at different sizes to do similar things, but it'd be great to learn from a master. And I've only developed my own technique. So going through a system like this, I think it's great for people to try this.
Well,
these
Yamuna
types
is
of
a
things.
fantastic, based on kind of more acupressure type of thing. So is it better than yoga?
No, it's
let's
just
ask
another
our sweet
tool in the
Allie.
arsonist.
There's nothing better than yoga. and
Well, yeah.
But
yeah.
it's
and a
another
person
tool.
who likes sailing, there's nothing better than sailing. Of course, I understand
they're
all that
all
stuff.
good things.
Yeah, of course they are.
And we should incorporate all the good things we can.
So now I got a letter last night, just before I went to bed. I got this letter, and it says it's from Rob in California. He said, "I'm writing to ask a question about your Primal Edge product. I was diagnosed with renal
Cell carcinoma.
Thank you very much. In October of 2010, I had my kidney removed in December of 2010, and I had no other cancers. Did not have to go through any chemo or radiation, which I don't think that's the treatment for it anyway. But that's good that he didn't. I sent my doctor the Primal Edge ingredient list, and he sent me a clinical.
He sent it to another clinical pharmacist to
The
analyze,
following
right?
Is the pharmacist's response. I am the clinical pharmacist working with Dr. Such and Such. He forwarded me the question of your Primal Edge supplements. I reviewed the ingredients. With your history of kidney impairment, it is important that you don't overconsume certain vitamins. This supplement contains 500 milligrams of magnesium, 1,000 units of vitamin D, and that may be too much. Many of the other ingredients, like fulvic acid and humic acid, lack definite health benefits. That's funny. Some research may even show they cause harm. For instance, green tea and ginseng can affect blood clotting and cause heart palpitations. I suggest that you don't take the supplement. And he asked me, Nico, do you and your staff agree on this, or you might be, or she might be missing something? Please note, this is the only contact I've ever had with the clinical pharmacist.
Well,
So,
first
good
of
questions.
all, Rob, we will keep you in our thoughts and prayers for speedy healing.
No doubt about it.
And
Well, it sounds like it's over because the kidney, and now he's functioning on one healthy
speedy
kidney.
healing and making sure that he, you know, can regain, you know, optimal
So what
kidney
I did,
function.
before we go on, I sent this to our chemist, the person
Correct.
who came up and helped us with the formula. And, you know, her basic theme on how she came up with this product is a real important story because it really, well, you know, one of the things, let's just go right here to the supplement of magnesium. 500 milligrams of magnesium. Now, to this doctor, it may seem like it's a high, but
to this pharmacist, remember it was a pharmacist.
Yeah, the
that did this.
pharmacist.
Pharmacists are trained in drugs and drug interactions, and to my knowledge, are not experts on nutritional biochemistry, such as
I
our
have to agree.
chemist.
He may be,
But he may be, and I
yeah.
don't know, or he or
Right.
she may be. And what's really great is we are going to just kind of continue this with our biochemist. I would really like for her to give an answer because there is a real compelling additional information that we're probably going to share with you maybe if we have time on this section on the next break, a little bit about the history of this product and how it was based on science, how it was based on extensive research. And gosh, I think, you know, this may be a good opportunity for us to create an ebook or something and go ahead and put the links to that research.
Yeah, I think that we'll do that. So, like, just take the magnesium, first of all. Now, where do they use magnesium most?
The very first thing that happens when you enter an emergency room is you're given, you know, the electrolytes of magnesium being the primary thing.
Right, so I can't
for
see how that would
vascular,
hurt.
because magnesium is a dilator, if anything. So, you know, our soil,
So
our
if he
soils
has
are
only
deficient
one
anyways.
kidney, do you think, from your standpoint, that it would harm just because he's only functioning on one kidney? I don't see how that would make a difference.
Well, this is interesting information because I'm dealing with some of the same stuff. You know, my father has kidney disease.
Yes.
You know, and, you know, it's very frustrating because there's a lot of limitations on what he has. And some of the stuff that we know could very well, some of the things that they're suggesting you should stay away from may be very important ingredients towards your healing. We know that vitamin D turns on over 300 genes that are responsible for, you know, recovering or prevention of numerous diseases, including cancer, for vitamin D, for example, which the chemist mentioned. But we do always want to be mindful and respectful that sometimes people have conditions and they need to always kind of weigh the information that they get.
And of course you have to take
we don't
the history.
treat, we're not treating, our product doesn't treat.
And you have to take in consideration the history of what the person's been doing. Maybe they're on some sort of drugs that may interfere with something. I just don't see magnesium and vitamin D actually interfering at this dosage. Because vitamin D, I mean, I've seen people take 4,000 units with no problems of any kind. And not...
10,000.
Yeah, 10,000. So...
In other words, not having sufficient. Now, you know, we've talked about that vitamin D. We like the sun because we've talked about Dr. Stephanie Senoff's work.
Well, we're going to have to continue this after the break. We're going to go into the fulvic and humic, too, and why it's important, how this kind of came about. I think if you know some of the history behind this, it might open your eyes. Again, we're going to rely on our chemists for the final judgment on this. 877-927-6648 is the phone number. Please
See you
give us
after
a
the
buzz.
break.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Check out the new look of Tiger TV. Now you can see all hosts, charts, and computer screens live in high definition. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Thinkorswim, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV. Now, crystal clear in high definition, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't seen the new look of Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Some of the stuff about the Primal Edge and how one of our listeners had cancer and one of his kidneys had it removed, and now he's getting some advice that maybe the Primal Edge might be not the product that he would
because
need.
it has vitamins. The chemist is concerned that that 500 milligrams of magnesium and vitamin D might be difficult for him based on his kidney disease. Now, again, we're not medical doctors. You should always review everything with your medical doctor. But folks, you know, in the industrialized world, we're like number 40 in terms of medical success. You know, rated in terms of the quality of our medical care. So it's become imperative that we all, you know, start doing self-empowerment with the internet and our access to other experts that may not have an agenda or an indoctrination.
Or maybe it's not, you know, you're getting your information from drug companies. You know, you may not be getting the same information that, you know, the chemist that formulated our product. with your wonderful guidance. I really specifically wanted to talk about the fumic and the humic, because this is kind of the delivery system that we're using, and from my understanding of it, this is really what resonates with the cells on a cellular level that tells the ingredients to come in and what ingredients to come out. And it's important. I call it like a little software program, so you know that everything's running good.
Yeah, it's really the base of what our product is in. Now, we had talked a little bit about, I think it might be prudent since...
Well, explain a little bit of the history, because I know you know the history of this company that we're getting it from, and why she chose the humic and fulvic acid as the base for everything.
I think it would be a good idea at this point to share our story, or her story, a little bit. First of all, she's a highly regarded biochemist. Spent an early part of her career at Merck, which is a pharmaceutical giant.
Yeah, about 20 years.
Yeah. So she began her career in the pharmaceutical industry. And who knows, maybe someday we'll actually, have her on for an interview or something a little bit. That would be super. She's so busy. But I think that would be great. She, unfortunately, was diagnosed with one of the most deadly forms of cancer, which is a brain tumor, glioblastoma. Or it might have been a little different version, but let me just say it was one of the most deadly brain cancers, pretty aggressive herself. She's probably a little younger than me from what I'm thinking.
Yes, she is, about 10 years.
Yeah, and as a researcher, naturally, she had some of the most prestigious resources available to her in terms of true science. She is a scientist. She's also a whole person, and so she is a very spiritual person, too. She had some information that she should really look hard at the science of fulvic humic. And by deploying the main product, the main base of which our product is formulated on, she reversed her cancer.
Yeah. So she just took the base of the product without the added vitamins and minerals.
Well, as a result of this, she did a number of things. And, again, she had this choice to, read the research and decide that she understood a little bit about cell physiology and how, empowering the body to do its own detoxification, she could perhaps reverse situations. She did not do chemotherapy. I am going to remind you it was a brain cancer. So she used pretty aggressive. Now, in her situation, she was taking much more of our formula, of the fulvic humic, the gift, and she was taking a concentrated additional fulvic. If you ask her, she will tell you. And also probably doing a lot of other wonderful things, mindfulness things, focusing on what is right and important in life. And she's a beautiful human being, and changed her life. And
that's how she really formulated her company.
Formulated the company, and now works with formulating products for people all over the world, has some of her own products, and does great research. And we have other things that we're hopefully going to,
and the bottom line
together.
is that fulvic and humic, if you look at it, it's not full of vitamins and minerals. That's not its purpose. Its purpose is to deliver things to your body.
Well, they are actually natural minerals, in their actual natural form, not synthetic. Now, we do have added vitamins. That is the difference in the Primal Edge, because we were trying our best to formulate something that might be what we could call the one shot for you guys, really to try and be all-encompassing.
And we got it. A great, successful product, and it's working really good, and I hope that...
so we'll keep you posted on this information a little bit more as maybe we can talk with her.
We'll read next week when we get our answer. We'll read it on the air for sure.
Okay, super.
We'll be right back, folks.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, guys, along the same lines from the last segment, the mainstream media is panicking over Dr. Oz teaching disease prevention and nutritional self-care. You know, folks, we got to follow the dollars a little bit. It's kind of like what we're talking about. Remember, the pharmaceutical industries, the pharmacists, you know, there's a little bit of a smoking gun there, I believe. But actually, the pro-pharma anti-nutrition mainstream is engaged in an all-out panic on Dr. Oz. And, you know, although I don't agree with everything Dr. Oz does, and I recognize the agenda, I truly believe he does have a heart, soul, spirit, and I give him a lot of credit for being able to, he kind of walks both sides of the fence. He has to.
Well, you have to if you're in the mainstream media. There's no way you can get around it.
He can't upset his sponsors, and
No,
as
that's
you
what
know,
I'm
we
saying.
still
That's
have
why
the
fence
Viagra
line.
commercials coming
So he
on.
wants to be innovative, and he wants this new stuff to come out, but there's always the commercials. There's always not enough time. You're always constrained to a certain moments in time. You can't, if you have something important to say, well, sorry, we have to go on break. That's nice, but we'll have you on the show again, that type of thing.
As a pharmacist commented that, maybe even some of the stuff with the fulvicumic is unproven or safe. Actually, guys, tons of research in PubMed on the efficacy of fulvicumic, very heavily studied. Remember, again, it's not patentable. So it's kind of interesting that they're attacking Dr. Oz that some of the stuff he's saying is unproven, like cherries and walnuts. But it's kind of hilarious considering the irrefutable fact that nearly all of the most popular drugs don't work on most people. Do you guys understand that the FDA can approve a drug for disease based on a mere 5% efficacy rate? In other words, it doesn't have to work for 95% of the people.
Yeah. That is that's pretty amazing. And also there's a lot of controversy about that. Many doctors prescribe certain drugs that are kind of out of their realm. In other words,
it's called off-label.
Yeah, off-label. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Guys, we see this all the time. We see this all the time with the drug companies, and prescription drugs and vaccine, in other words, were backed by zero scientific evidence. A big fat zero scientific evidence. Okay, and then as we know, and we've shared with you listeners because you're tuned in and you're tuning up, that the president of the New England Journal of Medicine came out and said that their research is not credible.
Well,
it's
when it comes
funded,
to health,
it's bought.
The entire purpose of mainstream media is to function as a marketing and propaganda arm of drug companies and biotech corporations, not to share information that may actually help people and live healthier lives.
But that's what we do.
Yes.
We're here. Yeah. Every day.
We're like the posse that
Studying,
goes after
reading.
the bad guy.
Yeah.
In the old days, if they were robbing trains, you think they'd search everybody that's going on a train? No, they get a posse together and they go after these bad guys. They don't make everybody to take off their shoes and their belts to get on the train. That's the way America was built. So that's the way to go after these terrorists. It's also the way that we do go after people. Mm-hmm. You don't target blanket people and put warning labels on a bucket of, what were you saying the other day? There was a bucket of milk or something like that. Or no, a bucket of water. Or the bucket itself had to have, that's what it was. The bucket had to have a warning. If you stick your head in this and there's water in it, you might drown.
Yeah, some of it gets downright ridiculous. Guys, the media that's attacking Dr. Oz should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. They're punishing the very person who's trying to help Americans protect their health, maintain their productivity, and avoid high-cost medical bills. It must be working, guys. You must be listening. You must be making changes. We may or may not agree with everything that Dr. Oz stands behind, but again, what I say is I like that he has the fortitude to get up there and try and straddle it and to try and, create some blending, because that's what we want. We want collaborative care. We want to make sure that people understand. Another thing that I have to it just popped in my head, I saw it going through my Facebook scroll, was someone had posted a bunch of information. Actually, we're going to go to it. It's an article here that I've got about bergamot. I posted that the essential oil bergamot, maybe we can go to that real quick, if you don't mind, Nico, find it for me, because I'll talk about it while you find it. The essential oil of bergamot, clinically known to lower cholesterol, improve the lipid profile, lower triglycerides, and lower inflammation. Guys, doesn't that sound excellent? Well, if any of you are visiting an aromatherapist, and as my clients know, your sneaky little aromatherapist puts bergamot in your inhalers often. And bergamot, yes, exactly. Bergamot is actually kind of on the emotional level, helps everyone feel like everything is right with the world. But it was really interesting. These researchers in Italy, bergamot is actually from the orange. It's part, yellow bergamot fruit are rich in flavonoids. It's really high in antioxidants. So, but what?
There's a picture of it right here.
Yeah, so,
So it looks like a citrus fruit, right?
It is, yeah. So it's in the citrus family. The essential oil of bergamot, we use in inhalers. It's, as I said,
it looks like a large lemon.
Mm-hmm. Long story short, guys, when I was reading, this was on a Facebook thing, I caught this, I snagged it. Obviously a chemist or a pharmacist or someone who was commenting we really don't know how it interacts, and it actually interferes with the P450 cytochrome detoxification for people that are on drugs. And as I was reading the commenters, it really very much in line with what we're talking about today. I thought, why are we worrying about the drug interaction? Let's get off the drugs. If it has all these benefits.
That's a good point.
And it said, actually when I sent you this link, the Facebook comments, folks, I tell you, sometimes your comments are the best thing about your Facebook links. But I thought to myself, be careful because bergamot may actually interfere with this because if they're on the drugs. I thought, well, let's get rid of the drugs.
Yeah.
Then we don't have these interactions. But that whole world of
That's a good point. Get off all your drugs, folks, and you'll be fine. Just eat some good food.
Yeah, it is important, though, folks, if you are on drugs, to be aware that it probably is prudent to look at these things. But, guys, PubMed is open to the public. Yeah. Well, join greenmedinfo.com. Tell them Paige and Nico sent you. greenmedinfo.com. You can have access to it yourself.
In the chat room, one of our listeners there is Australia just did a hat job on Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, an American who was visiting the country and spoke out against the dangers of vaccination. The government revoked her visa.
Oh, my gosh. One of the first people I think anyone should go listen to is the research of Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. She's renowned in the pro-vaccine information movement. And most of you may know that Australia is very heavily kind of like their I think it's called the TFA. It's not the FDA, but
it's their version of it.
Yes, their version of it is very militant, and it is a very pro-drug company. Just be aware that that there's a lot of stuff going on to silence those that are trying to make changes in the world. Yeah.
So I found a nice article from Amy Myers, who we visit often, and she has this article, 8 Myths and Facts About Autoimmune Disease. And of course, you've often said that autoimmune disease...
Dr. Marshall has taught me that we are alone in the United States in believing that really autoimmune disease is actually even a disease. Mm-hmm. There is always, usually, in Dr. Marshall's opinion and vast experience, and many other countries in the world do not share this industry of autoimmune disease. Yeah. It's usually always a stealth infection.
Yeah. And one of the myths about it is that it can't be reversed, of course. So we have this, first of all, a disease that maybe that doesn't exist, but, there's some kind of genetic component to it or something that tells the body that we have to go into this state. There's actually no state like that. I think it's the poisons are just kind of building up in you, and it affects everybody kind of on a different level. And we have all these little diseases that come along that we call diseases, like fibromyalgia and, shingles.
The other word for fibromyalgia is toxic.
Toxic, yeah.
And, you can't take it personal. It doesn't mean that you're more toxic than the other person. It means that perhaps you are not able to get rid of the toxins as well as the person next to you.
Yeah, and another myth is that your symptoms won't disappear without harsh medications. In other words, you have to turn to the pharmaceutical community to get rid of this because nothing natural is going to help you.
Not
that
true.
In itself.
Not true.
Of course.
Visit GreenMed Info and you'll see all the research that for the natural foods, plants, and so forth that are actually proven more efficacious than the drugs.
Well, if they didn't work, then we wouldn't be here because that's what we did for thousands and thousands of years. So that just makes sense. The pharmaceutical industry has only been here for 50, maybe 100 years it started, but the last 50 years they really got a hold of us, haven't they? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's very few people around that are not on some kind of pharmaceutical drug or maybe the over-the-counter drug.
Correct. Yeah. And a third thing is that when you treat it, that the side effects are no big deal. That's not true either.
Yeah, the side effects from the medication.
Correct. We're talking about if you do take these cocktails, there's not most people that have a diagnosis, and I like to ask people, how many have you collected? And usually there's a list of 5 to 10 drugs, and usually one drug is prescribed to offset the side effects of the previous drug, and then there's another drug in the pike in case you're feeling the dry mouth that you get from this one. So folks, get off the wheel, the hamster wheel.
That's for sure.
Let's start looking and being empowered with doing things. I will be, this article even says that the new science of epigenetics, which is really the field that I work in, proves that very few of our genes are hard-coded. Very few, very, very few. We used to say 10%. We actually think it's less than 2%. and that the rest of them are actually can be influenced by the changes you make, and
They
that's
can be
the
switched
food.
on, off. They
Yeah,
can, all kinds of
and the
things going
key
on.
is learning how to switch the right things on and switch the
Yeah, and it
stuff
just
on
makes sense
and
that
off.
if you're eating natural, local, and seasonally, that the stuff is automatically there. Now, in our modern age, yeah, we've done a lot of stuff to the environment that hinders that, but I think it's still your best bet than going full chemical. In other words, eating the crappy food that they're giving us and then go on medication too. It's a double whammy that's going to get you in serious trouble, especially in your 50s, 60s, and above.
Hey, here's a good one. Here's number 4 on this list of the 8 myths and
beauty.
facts about autoimmune disease. Improving your digestion and gut health will have no effect on the progression of autoimmune disease. Those of us that kind of study functional health, I like to use the word functional health instead of functional medicine. I just don't even like to give that word any power, anymore because it's been so railroaded. Here's the problem with ignoring the gut health. Since the majority of your immune system is located there in the gut, it is essential to focus on the digestive system and heal your leaky gut if you want to reverse your autoimmune
In fact,
symptoms.
from our primal way of thinking, Paige, it's the first thing we want to address.
Absolutely. You've heard me talk about what my training is that we need to have great digestion from the mouth to the anus, folks. And a lot of the symptoms that you have is because that gets disrupted. And so if you don't have the perfect balance of enzymes in the mouth, if you don't have the right stomach acid to digest and disinfect it, my hot button with the stomach acid, then by the time it gets into the intestines and we need to do the absorption and so forth, sometimes the body says, get this stuff out of here. I don't recognize this as food. It's frankenfood.
Yeah.
You didn't package it right. You put in chemicals. The liver gets overdone.
So number 5 is going gluten-free won't make any difference to your autoimmune disorder, and that is so wrong, because going gluten-free just opens the door to, for me, it opened the door to saying, boy, this has really affected me in a negative way. So as soon as I went gluten-free and then just grain-free, it really changed my whole life.
Yeah, so many doctors will go in and say, well, we can run a test to see if you have celiac disease. And again, guys, it's not that big. It's this big. But this author actually says the idea that gluten doesn't make any real difference to your condition is one of the most dangerous myths about autoimmune disorders. Taking apart that myth might be the single greatest advice I can give you. The first thing I do with everyone that comes into my office, if they have a condition, is we've got to get off the GMOs and the grains and start from there. Could you eat them later? Maybe. We'll see. Number 6, having an autoimmune disorder dooms you to a poor quality of life.
And that's total crap as far as I'm concerned. We are always ability for us to get better. The human body has just an amazing way of rebounding, and it just have to feed it the proper thing. Remember, if you take your pet to the vet, the first thing he's going to ask, if it's not feeling good, what did you feed it in the last 48 hours?
You get empowered to be symptom-free, pain-free, and vigorous. And I would always tell you I'd rather see a veterinarian than most medical doctors. Number 7, when it comes to autoimmune disorders, only your genes matter, not the environment. Not true. We just told you. Genes account for less than somewhere around 2%.
Just go to a pool hall where everybody's smoking and stay in there for an hour and see how you feel.
We know there's some genetics involved. We know that the leaky gut's involved. We know that the environmental triggers are involved. These can be food sensitivities. These can be toxins. These can be infections, and they can be stress. And remember, these stresses and these toxins don't have to be physical, folks. They can be emotional. I see it every day. I work with that. That's my forte. So let's keep going. And number 8, your immune system is what it is, and there's nothing you can do to support it. Folks, I'm here to tell you.
And this is what mainstream is really talking about. All these myths are just in mainstream, and most of your doctors will tell you these things. Not all of them. You'll find good doctors who don't, who know, who investigate it for themselves. But from the mainstream, all these big corporations want you to believe these 8 things about autoimmune disease, and not just about autoimmune disease. We're talking about the whole spectrum of everything.
Exactly. So, folks, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help empower you to realize that the information is out there to help you heal yourself.
In the chat room, Confetti Wars is telling us that all the stuff the FDA and Big Pharma tells us about genes is BS. They want us to believe there's no way out of disease except through drugs. They say your problems are in your genes. So we're
in reality, disease is from bad family habits passed down through tradition. You know what that is? That's cool. We'll talk a little bit more about that. I have some more comments on that. It has nothing to do with genes. Good point, Confetti Wars.
877-927-6648 is our number if you want to join us.
I want to continue that.
Yeah, cool. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Okay, folks. So we were just kind of talking a little bit in the chat room. Confetti Wars made a couple comments, that, the FDA and Big Pharma tell us all about genes is that they want us to believe there's going to be a drug to fix it. And trust me, folks, there's a huge marketing push called pharmacogenetics. And what they're doing is they're selling the information to the doctor that says, if you have this gene expression, the drug Plavix may cause this person to bleed to death, but this person to clot. I think this is important information so long as you're using drugs. But what I love is the world of epigenetics, nutrigenomics, where we're looking at these gene SNPs.
Yeah,
And this is
that's
where
the
I'm
real
moving with
difference.
my research, where we're working with the SNPs and saying, you've got, like me, for example, I have a SNP that actually means that I'm a little hampered in my ability to make SOD, which is superoxide dismutase,
Yeah. break
down free radicals. But guess what? We know there's clinical evidence that things like green tea actually enhance that.
Yeah.
So, Confetti Wars talked about the way that the real problem is the habits. It's not the problem in your genes, meaning hard-coded in the genes. It's more in the epigenetics, or the above the genes, and that means your environment, the way you think, the way you breathe, the way you move, what you eat, how you sleep. And that's kind of the focus of my work and my focus and my passion. We actually have a study called transgenerational epigenetics. But I'll tell you, it goes even farther than that, Confetti Wars. I'll tell you what it is if you have a parent that perhaps had maybe even a racist disposition, an emotional disposition, there's even evidence that these emotional tendencies, these thoughts or whatever, can actually be coded into the genes.
And
these
especially if they're then conditioned towards that later on.
Typically, that'll be there.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Another thing about the transgenerational, for example, two genetically identical mice may have different DNA methylation. You've heard that term from us before.
Yeah.
And these patterns may cause a kink in the tail of one but not the other. Their DNA is exactly the same, but the way they methylate changes. One of the reasons why we made sure that we added methyl donors, such as methyl tetrahydrofolate, so you could have proper gene expression. One of the reasons I'm so passionate about HCl, because after, we ruined our guts. These grains and processed foods have ruined our guts. We don't methylate. Betaine HCl, trimethylglycine, best methyl donor on the planet.
And so, one of the things that Rob was talking about is there things in Primal Edge that's going to interfere with him? And my general consensus is that there's nothing that's going to harm you in Primal Edge unless you're taking some pharmaceutical drugs that may interfere.
Right.
But as far as if you're not taking any drugs and you're not part of the pharmaceutical, you probably have no problem at all. I can't see where anything is going to hurt you in Primal Edge.
And again, there's the science, as we just talked about. There's the science that says that the vitamin E in walnuts and the antioxidants in cherries that correct, gout and so forth. There's science that shows this, but there's not a lot of money behind those natural things because no one can patent it. And then there's the other people's science. It's like your people and my people. Whose people you want to believe? You really have to take a look and then choose what works for you, right? Okay.
Well, do the research yourself. Everybody, we know that you have to make up your own mind these things, and that's what we want. Don't listen to the drug companies. Don't even listen to us. Do your own research and then decide if a product like Primal Edge or any product, whether it's a drug or a vitamin, is for you. You've got to experience it yourself. So that's really the bottom line for it. So.
But we're here to empower you to get the information, because with information we are powerful. And I'm going to end this with my little saying and my little slogan in my company: empowerment. The ideology of that word, empowerment. I'm a powerful mind. So be a powerful mind. Empower yourself. Learn. Join us Fridays noon. TFNN, Living a Primal Lifestyle. We love you. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, pick up my newsletter. I've got a new
Good
one
stuff.
coming out the first of the month, and I've got one right now that's going to last the full 3 weeks. So you start digging into some of this stuff, and you're going to love it. So thanks a lot for sticking around, folks. We'll see you next time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.